So in this video, I'm going to be explaining why Peashooter actually beats Red. And no, I'm just going to go over all the reason why I think Peashooter wins. And I'm not an Angry Birds fan, I'm more of a PvZ fan. But I'm not base. And in the comments, you can tell me if I'm wrong or not. I'm basically going to be explaining why I think Peashooter wins. And I'm going to be putting some Angry Birds evidence in here that could help Red put up a fight from what I learned, but I don't own any Angry Birds comics, don't know how to play the games that much, so don't try to get pissed off at me, just tell me what I got wrong. Now let me cook and explain why I think Peashooter wins. And the first thing I see that Peashooter can move around or that he has no intelligence because he's a plant or a dumbass. And that people usually first argument to why Red always wins against Peashooter, but he can literally run around Garden Warfare, and then people try to say that that game not canon. But in the comics, and also in PvZ Heroes, he also be able to move around and run around. And yet people still just ignore that. Like here, not like they're literally on just running around and fighting zombies head on. They can also fast enough to react to rockets, and they can also find continent to moon level explosions, and how other planets and zombies also it can also go down to space and survive in space, not just in Garden Warfare, but also in PvZ Heroes. How it also fighting a zombie that is bigger than the solar system. And that also can survive being frozen before they just get out of it, and also how plants and zombie can also react to lasers that move at the speed of light and easily just dodge it like a nut. And Peashooter way more experienced and intelligent than Red, since he quite literally learned quantum physics and mechanics, and his intelligence can be compared to Crazy Dave, who can quite literally close portals in the fabric of time and space with, I don't know, literal frogs, and how great they also can create paradoxes and more. Like creating his own language, and also machines that can time travel, or to also change the timelines. And also how he also can be compared to the zombie who also can create technology to interdimensionally travel different dimensions and parallel universes and more. More like, I don't know, using phone lines that stretch to different dimensions, who can also, his armor also create moon bases and black portals, and a machine that literally make a hole in reality and escape through time, which isn't just erasing your very existence, but it also unravels reality and causes temporary paradoxes, and the zombie is just immune to it. And the funny part, this is not even all the durability feats, like how they have survived country to continent level explosions, how they can also just survive in black holes and just unaffected by it. They can quite literally sit inside a singularities and time space being unaffected. Even when the gnomes summon them to the gnomeverse and destabilizes time and space, they're quite literally just okay and unaffected by it. And as you see right here, they're immune to singularities. And how they also take galaxy level attacks. And the zombie can take high multiversal attacks from Plasma Peashooter. And the gnomes who could put time and space in their pockets, meaning that their strength is likely immeasurable. And how they cause black holes and singularities, and how they're both timeless by the game and by themselves. And also how they can create atoms, but are not made by atoms. They are also as old as infinity, and how they are fifth dimensional beings without cryptology, and how they have stated that they can control the string theory, and how the string theory exists in PvZ, and how PvZ follows the string theory because it got parallel universes, different dimensions, and how wormholes can lead to parallel universes. Plasma Peashooter can shoot parallel universes, and clones on other different dimensions, and how PvZ also got quantum mechanics. But what you know, it also plays the other role in the string theory, and even more. Hell, it's a fucking achievement. and how this can give the known concept manipulation, how quantum mechanics did this. And remember this, I'm going to use this later in the video to also prove something else, and how this can also make the gnomes 27 to 28 dimensional beings due to being above time and space, which is time in general. So this that the low ball can make the gnomes fifth dimensional due to being timeless, low or mid complex multiverse, and then with the string theory, since it makes time and space 26 dimensional, it easily makes them mid hyperverse due to being easily over 12 dimensional. And that plasma Peashooter to infinite possibility universes, in which with infinite possibility means anything that is possible can happen, meaning that plasma Peashooter can also have the possibility to shoot a universe with infinite dimensions that also could have an infinite amount of parallel universes, which can also have an finite amount of timeline. Lines, he also can shoot the fabric of time and space, and he can also shoot the superposition, which also will take for multiverses, which also can be scaled to these to type 1, type 2 multiverse, and therefore type 3 multiverses. And this is how it's high hyper to low aldiverse. And now let's try to compare this dollar with V's durability and strength. So he can beat people who can destroy planets and people who have complete control over the galaxy and survive falls from the moon, and was also able to defeat UFO that tore whips in the space and time continuum, and also can keep up with physics flew across galaxies in seconds, and someone who also able to flip the whole entire world into the mirror world, and can also got this for his hacks, and also got immeasurable speed. And he can be compared to buds that can cause supernovas, has survived planet level explosions, and he also can make people powerless, and can also got fourth wall awareness, and can do all of this stuff. And this is some of his feats and some of his abilities and powers that I found with some of his durability and weapons too across all of the games. And this is all that I found for Red. But after this, I didn't want to address all the cross scaling that everyone does and how wrong it is and how we're going to debunk it. And note that they're not bringing all Peachooter feeds and intelligence and hacks and more. And note the first argument they're going to debunk is going to be the Angry Birds Sketch IDW Transformers one. And this is very debunkable. Like, all they gotta say that they don't scale the IDW Transformers. Why? Because they never even met a IDW Transformer. They never even shown a feed or even fighting the IDW Transformer, let alone ever even being universe in the same comics. Like, I literally read the comics, and the only time they even met the IDW Transformers wasn't even the buds. It was a freaking pig. And he literally asked them if he can get a ride back home. And if he even tried to scare the Angry Birds at the W Transformer Cryptonology, that would also be stupid. Could never even shown that they had the same Cryptonology either. And I literally had to stop myself because I was literally about to say a bunch of crazy ass shit too. And that the IDW comics Transformer Birds, Angry Birds, don't even scale to store level. Hell, the only feature they ever shown can only give them the building level to possibly even town. Meaning that the Gargantuars as a boom boom mushroom from the PVZ comics can quite literally solo them. And the other reason why people say that Angry Birds win because Ray got fourth wall awareness and somehow plot manipulation. You know, he never even shown to be able to manipulate the plot. And also forget that Peashooter and the planes got fourth wall awareness too, and they break the fourth wall all the time. Like, bruh, do your research. Like right here, they're literally breaking the fourth wall because they know that they can respawn, and not just respawn, that it's also canon that they can do this, and they know it. And how, and also the same comment that the Break the Fourth Wall planes are shown to be able to read, literally outsmart zombies and dress up as zombies, literally talk to humans, and even climb despite having no limbs to climb. They even know how to use pinball machines and break the fourth wall, and even climb ropes by themselves, and how zombies can literally use phones and go into group chat, and how zombies can also build houses. They're not idiots, they actually are intelligent. But off of that side note, I'm just going to go debunk the Popeye thing by that Popeye not keep it the fuck out, and that this is the only time this happened. And this is kind of the outline, because we don't even know if Popeye even using his full power or not. We also don't know if Popeye is even trying. And judging by how inconsistent Popeye is, like how you can go from one-shotting bulls and eight-dimensional beings to running away from a freaking bull, or being unable to attack or beat a freaking whatever the frick it's called, and much more. Like they don't scare Popeye. They never shown any other feeds to even get them close to Popeye. So the ninth dimensional beings, buds, and pigs just been debunked. And now I'm going to go and debunk them trying to scale whether the Angry Birds to, I don't know, base games Sonic and and also Star Wars. Since people actually think that they actually scaled to that. I can quite easily debunk all of this, or I can let them have their way. I'm just going to debunk it. With the easier way to debunk the Star Wars scaling to Angry Birds, it's simply because a Star Wars character never popped up in the Angry Birds game, and they had never shown to actually be able to actually scale to the canon Star Wars characters. And now, based on the scaling, I can see why, since Sega said that everything is canon to Sonic, but this can still get debunked because Sonic had never actually shown the game actually be trying to actually run. And even more evidence of this is also probably because of the fact that Red had never shown feeds that are actually comparable to Sonic within the same game, besides being able to keep up with Sonic while he's not actually trying to run. In the trailers, and also because of the fact that Sonic was just a playable character in Angry Birds Epic. And that Red was also a playable character in Sonic Dash. And how the only feeds in that game is just probably scaling down to the things in the game, like taking bombs, bashing through enemies' machines, and dodging his rockets. And to also fighting other villains in the game. Used to play it, at most it can make them faster than the sound barrier. And now let me try to compare this with Peashooter speed. He can keep up with Party Centron, and Centron, who quite literally can time travel, and Party Centron ripped open the very fabric of time and space and time traveled back to some Voria by just partying and not even trying. And Citron travels on a daily basis. You can try to debunk Citron, say that he's doing that because of technology, and that they also survived the time space correlation falling apart. He was able to move around doing it. And even when this vanquishes them, it doesn't kill them. That they can still just be revived. And that plasma Peashooter is also omnipresent with easily infinite to immeasurable speed feeds and way more stuff. And also can compare to that earlier in the gnomes. And even if you ignore all of this, you still got massive, faster than light speeds, still making them faster than Red if you ignore all the immeasurable speed feeds. And he also can scale the zombies. You can take hits from Sunflower, who's quite literally the ultimate power of the universe, easily making him way more powerful than Plasma Peashooter and the rest of the stuff in PvZ heroes, like Assassin's Erase and more. And that he can also be compared to zombies who quite literally did the whole straight through the little core of the earth. As hard as this. Like bruh. It's literally as hard at the surface as the sun. And also the feats of the known be able to hold time and space in the pockets aren't bullshit. Since that statement is actually supported by the fact that they hold time states that is quite literally pieces of time and space, which they are physically holding in their pockets. and that the plants can also hold that too in the pockets with the zombies. And that the plants and zombies are also immune to singularities, which is also supported by the fact that plants like being planted in black holes, in which I will show you why. I think that you see why this also makes sense that they got immunity to time and space manipulation and more and resistance to it, like when the gnomes are destabilizing time and the plants are zombies, or just okay and unreally affected by this. This is also proven by the fact that they can really time travel back in time and literally mess or get themselves killed back in time and then just be unaffected by it. And I could go on, but it's time for me to state the real reasons why I think Peashooter absolutely destroys Red. And I'm going to begin it with hacks. And I'm going to begin it with a small thing before I truly show you what the fuck this plant can do. Since when I found this out, I was actually confused about why Pocket even let this exist and how just truly underrated Peashooter is. And how I just generally want to put an end to all of this bullshit and how just overrated people can make this bud. Like how is this one say, oh, just Pichu, just a plant. But then when someone pulls out all of this bullshit for a bud, everyone just believes it. And I just like, bruh. So time for me just to end this right now. Because I always debunked the Popeye, like DW Transformers and Sonic things, and also gonna be using the dinosaurs from Infinity Time for Peashooter's hacks too, since he actually uses that. So he's millions of years old, he can dodge light speed attacks, he can plant at the speed of light, he can also do this, and also this, and also is this fast, and also intelligence year average, easily genius, and easily can do stuff that humans do. Like boy, just because he's a plant doesn't mean he's dumbass. He even got military training. He can even learn quantum mechanics. He can even somehow, in the Stone Age where technology doesn't even exist, he can also become a computer programmer. His intelligence is on par with Crazy Dave, who quite literally created time paradoxes, who quite literally closed on boss portals in time, with literal singing frogs. I read the comic. I wish I could be making this up. They actually did this. And he also created his own language, and that he also was able to go to college by building bud houses. He can also take this stuff and even more, and that he can easily empower himself and make himself bigger and stronger than Red with Sun, easily make him be able to beat Red to death. He also can overpower imps who can literally throw gargantuars, who the size of houses. At least in the comics, and with their pure weight alone, they can literally crush cars and even rip off the parts of the street and even crush pure concrete and the street itself in the comics. They can quite literally, when they run at you, they can quite literally make an earthquake. And that Peashooter can do all of this and more. I can quite literally put this in the description for you if you actually want to read this. I'm going to put my Reddit link down because my Reddit link got all the evidence for this and more. It can also be made out of the void, which can also literally make sure they can just drag Red to the void and just leave him trapped there alone forever. There's so much stuff Peachooter can do to kill Red. It's not even funny. Like, God, y'all need to do y'all research and not to be rude. And now let's try to compare this with Red's hacks and let's see what Red can do to Peashooter before I truly reveal Peashooter the whole entire hacks. So let's just read and see all of this first. And this is all the Red stuff. And usually at this point you think that Red easily out-hacks his Peashooter, but now about to reveal Peashooter's whole entire hacks into why Peashooter stomps Red. Quite literally. And this is some of his feats too. So yeah, let's just finish this right now. Now, this is why I think Peashooter quite literally solos Angry Birds. But because of all of this, like literally got Immortality type 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, and 8. And all of this stuff too. Like, bro, just read all of this before you actually say anything. And this is why Peashooter literally out hacks his Red and literally got resistance to all the red stuff. Even concept eraser manipulation because he can destroy Max and take hits from them, who in the PvT comic is supposed to be the concept of the end of the story, and that is also supported by the fact that when the planet destroyed all the Z-Max in the past, the original Z-Max, but the Zombies dragged through the portals in time that he ripped open literally still existed, and then he used that to build all the rest of the Z-Max and PvZ, called it Warfare, or Heroes, or BFN. I really don't know since Podcast fucked up the PvZ timeline so bad. And that he could also deny Ascendancy Type 3, which is also this. He also got Ascendancy Type 1 to partially 2. And there's even more evidence. I can quite literally make a whole entire debate behind paragraph to prove all of this. Or could quite literally put in all the pictures to prove this too. But I'm just gonna put my right link in the description for all of this and how the plan can be compared to the zombies, who quite literally have statements of being around since the dawn of time and even more. And that he can also plant and use all of these plants' abilities and things to quite literally go and fuck over Red. Someone can literally disassemble Red on the molecular level. Like they can literally split Red atoms apart. He easily used some of these plants to grant wishes. Some made out of dark matter. Some can quite literally this fight is so one-sided to Peashooter, and yet everyone just ignores all his feats, powers, and abilities, his literal hacks and more, and say that Red just wins, while Peashooter has literally fought everything Red has, but literally better, stronger, and faster. He's way more experienced, way more durable, and way more intelligent, got better battle IQ. And I'm not trying to sound base, like you can tell me what I got wrong, but this is like how I literally see it. Like it's like just Jesus. Hell, some of these planets even got their own realms and dimensions. Some of them quite literally got the power of the cosmos and even more. And how you can fight the gnomes who can quite literally do this. This is what he would be fighting daily. And also can comparable to Citron and Sunflower who got the ultimate power of the universe and who can time travel. And how the weakest zombies like imps are immune to this. And even if he tries to say, oh, but zombie technology protecting them, why hasn't he used this on the plants? AKA they're immune to it. And I feel like this wasn't the first red flag you've seen. Research this should also put this in perspective for you, just how horrifyingly powerful PvZ is. And Rose was powerful enough not just see the many possibilities of the future, but to also time travel using her magic. And this is also supported by the fact that she does this in the comics too. And that Necro Rose can attack with the power of vanquished plants, meaning that she can possibly attack with the power of vanquished Sunflower and Peashooter to basically an uncountable amount of them. And the zombies can take hits from her if she can attack with a plant that got the power of a freaking universe to literal multiverse to literally I, I can't really explain at this point. It's totally not like you disrupting the literal flow of time and space, easily making it so you manipulate time and space and stopping the flow of it for the zombies, easily giving them a measurable speed for even being able to move during this. And Peashooter and PvZ heroes can use other plants' abilities, so he can use this on Red. And this could also help that zombies are also intelligent enough to quite literally graduate from college, and they can also survive the bottom of the freaking sea floor and just casually woke the fuck up and then just walk back the fuck up to the surface. You can't make this stuff up. And how Peashooter can also harm intangible beings made out of time and space to even physically manipulate or literally physically touch time and space and hold it. Like, bro, you can't make this stuff up. Even with this, and knowing all the other hacks I just shown you, this can literally also screw over Red. So can this ability too. And this is just for you know what she's actually doing. And then also super beings are apparently invincible to plasma Peashooter and all the other planets attached to including sunflowers. And that is canonically canon that the planets zombies at least vanquish 5,000 other plants and zombies. And that super beings were too powerful for Rose's magic and hacks and had to be beaten physically. And that zombies make battle plans on the go. And that this Peashooter cannot just resurrect himself, but he also can shoot 3 universes rings around zombies. That he can use this to create light or warm himself, while he can also, I don't know, do this too. And how he also can properly manipulation, meaning he can alter reality and manipulate Red's destiny and fate. Because he also can make impossible things happen and make it so Red Hash doesn't work on him. He can manipulate time and space too, just like Red. Like literally, bruh. He obviously got plasma manipulation, and plasma Peashooter is easily omnipresent. And plasma Peashooter is literally bigger than the multiverse, and evidence for all the stuff back there. He can even manipulate quantum physics, and this can easily make him be able to travel to different dimensions, timelines, alternate realities, and more. Like God. And for the plants version, he can even manipulate this. He's also non-existent because the Peashooter can also become a void, which is the shadow Peashooter that is quite literally a living void, which is quite literally nothingness and quite literally don't even exist really. So Red can't even really harm this Peashooter physically. Like, bruh, and this Peashooter can quite literally drag Red to the void and leave him there, or just kill him there. He even can hold that too. Hell, he quite literally dragging this zombie to the literal void. And now Peashooter can also hurt beings who are quite literally made out of light. He can use plant food to empower himself. He even can also duplicate and multiply himself. Video when this came from. He can even go Cosmic Peashooter, who got the power of the cosmos, who also made our magic. He can defeat King Nomus and more. And how this can give him higher dimensionally manipulation because the gnomes totally aren't fifth to probably easily, I don't know, 27 dimensional beings. Like, bro. And that he got power nullification, meaning they get you nullify Red's power unless Red can empower himself. Also, please read this too. He totally can't do this to Red. He totally can't use it to screw Red over. He totally can't make holograms of himself. And that Wing of Fire Peacher, he totally ain't made out only fire and the corporal beam. And bro, there are so many plants he can use to screw over Red. Like, bruh, I'm actually starting to get more annoyed making this because of how no one can even do their research and how that being can literally break and destroy bolters like it's nothing. Peashooter can literally do this just to screw over Red. He even got plane manipulation and can easily manipulate his own pain to make Red actually feel his pain. He also got resistance to time space manipulation and more. And that Peashooter also got resistance to the zombies' hacks too. That is literally just like this, but way more insane. In Hell in PvZ, if you're stronger than the character, then they have to beat you by physical means. And they had to do that with Peashooter. Like, bruh, he can even summon in plants who can quite literally summon in more plants. Hell, Peashooter can do this too. Even he can literally use the shooting star to grant wishes. And totally not unaffected when the friggin' gnomes are destabilizing time and just over here fighting. I don't know. The Junkosaurus actually hurting it. He even got resistance to logic manipulation, which is this. And if we're really being honest, logic manipulation will really just describe every single character in PvZ and everything that even happens. So they just define the laws of physics and logic so bad. Like, out of every character, they will play mostly Chomper. Because how many times that fucker had literally killed my ass while I'm just flying 10 feet in the air and he's supposed to be underground. He even got resistance to zombies that could turn them into sheep. And he also not affected by wishes. And he also got immortality, negation, durability negation, and even more. And also try reading this too, if you can see it. He also got resistance to this too. And this, he even got death manipulation, where he can quite literally just touch something once and then it instantly dies. He also got resistance to this Gargantuar, who, if he destroys a plant, he destroys the plant across. You literally destroy all copies of the plant, and yet this doesn't affect Garden Warfare Peashooter or quite literally the heroes and PvZ heroes. And the Zama driven a meteoroid straight into Earth's core with that same Zama that I showed you earlier that was bigger than the solar system. And Peashooter intelligence on the same pair as Zombas who also created this. He even got reality warping. I'm like, bro, you have resistance to wishes, resistance to this. And that this kid can quite literally steal your energy. And how Plasma Peachooter also got reality warping. Yeah, that fight is totally fair and balanced and showing that one side of the Peashooter. I feel like the longer this goes on, the more annoyed I get. Because how everyone always said that this character solos PvZ, or how everyone said that a freaking normal pair for Angry Birds solos PvZ. And yet they got all of this stuff. And they're just putting the same stuff in here again. God damn it. So great, after we just got ourselves out of this hell. Now let's just get to the business. And now this is how I think that fight will go between Red and Peashooter. Peashooter just sees Red, shoots a pea at a zombie that will go and try to eat Red brains. Pete accidentally hit Red's eggs. Red gets pissed and tries to attack Peashooter. Peashooter shoots Red once and just kills him. Or you can try to do this like a death battle, make the fight seem like an anime fight. And it goes on until Peashooter goes Plasma Peashooter and one-shots Red. Or just so much more stuff. Sorry if I sound mad or rude. It's just that it took me a day to create that video. And literally basically 2 o'clock at night. 2 a.m. And I'm quite literally just tired and annoyed with this whole entire debate and just wanted to end this. And this is what I see this as. And in the end, you can call me base all you want, you know or not. And just tell me in the comments if I got anything wrong. And remember
That Peashooter is a fucking god. And that podcast is the most dumbest. Just God, just end this video right now.